Today we are joined by Daniel, an entrepreneur who's lived a fascinating journey from early days in trading and business to founding companies, enjoying fine cigars, moving to Spain with family, and diving deep into the worlds of crypto and day trading. In today's episode, we will unpack the wins, the lessons, and the adventures along the way. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I'm honored that you are here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be very fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yes, let's just start from the very beginning.
Yeah, sure. Sure thing.
The early spark. Let's start from the very beginning. What first got you interested in trading and businesses?
Well, it started back in the 90s after school, actually. I was a guy that went into the military after school, like all the young guys back then. And after the military services, I thought, okay, I need a job very badly. So I started working within building scenes for artists. Actually, the first summer I had after the military service, and in the autumn same year, this was in the late 90s, by the way. I got employed by a company made machines. No, made machine. They didn't make it. They were service and maintenance machines within the industry, actually. So I was very technical driven guy. I loved it, everything around technique and stuff like that. So I started to actually educate myself, and they paid my education. That company paid my education for 1 year. So within machine technique within the industry is machines like robotics and stuff like that. Yeah. So uh, they, they call them tool machines, like CNC machines, stuff. Yeah, within the industry in a broad kind of a sense. So a service technician within that. So yeah, service technician. So I was a service technician, and I educated myself, and they paid my education for 1 year, and I was actually working for that company a couple of years. But I realized when I got my first paycheck, real paycheck, I looked at it and I thought, okay, I need to do something about this. This is not going to work for me. I need to take care of my economic in other other kind of a way. This is not going to. I cannot have anyone tell me what I will earn and what I will have every month. I'm not a salary guy. I've never been, will never be. So along the way that year comes relatives to us, and they have found our relative had they had a guy they knowing a guy that had invented a machine that regenerated batteries within the industry, and I was in the industry, so, and I was actually educated for, yeah, all this technical advanced stuff. So I thought, okay, what is this for a cool invention? They regenerate batteries. It was for truck lifts and stuff like that. It was very, I mean, we talk about batteries nowadays within the industry. Batteries that we have nowadays, the development within this area is skyrocketed the last 20 years. So it was way different back then. I mean, back in the 90s, you had LEDs, big lead batteries. So you had those in the truck lifts, and they wear down quite fast, but within 5 years, they needed to exchange those batteries in this truck lift, and this friend of my relatives had invented this machine that, okay, we can instead of buying a new battery for what back in the days.
Oh, that much.
Yeah. I think it was 100, between 100 and 120 Swedish kroner for one big battery, something like that. So if we can do this for a cost of fraction of the cost with this machine, then we can maybe have, okay, I can invoice, say, let's say 2,000 euros instead of 15,000 euros that to buy a new battery. So my father now, we calculated this, and I jumped the train immediately, actually, and that was my first both experience and big mistake, because the invention, it worked, kind of, it worked, but the thing, with a lot of tweaking from me, of course, I needed to tweak the machines quite often. They stopped working in the middle of the process, and the batteries, okay, they were working, and they started to regenerate. It kind of working to 80%. It was fascinating to see it. Okay, it worked, and I could actually invoice a couple of companies. So I did it for maybe the first 6 months, up until one day we realized, okay, this is not going to work, because the whole thing was actually not a fraud, but a bank thing, that where the guys behind this machine, they tried to lease out the machines, but the problem was, when you're leasing out the machines, they kept gaining, they write contracts. So the bank, immediately when they signed the contracts, they received maybe 25 up to 50,000 euros per machine, and we were forced to lease them for extremely high cost every month. So the number didn't add up. Okay, so that was the problem. The numbers didn't add up. We couldn't keep continuing doing this. It was impossible. So we were having a rent per machine, like the cost of those were 2,000 to 3,000 euros a month, and maybe I could do maybe 1.5 battery per machine. I mean, and you have the overhead costs on top of that. I had, of course, I was a young guy back then, in my early 20s, so I got myself into way overhead with the costs immediately. Of course, I did. It's like every young entrepreneur did. So I got myself a big industrial complex. Yeah, it was crazy, like 500 square meters, or even more. I think it was 700 square meters, something like that. Huge, big area where I could have my machines and all the tools and all the stuff, and it was just cost. And I okay, we need to earn something here. So I told my dad after a little while, because it was a fraud in the back end. We kind of we could actually cancel the contracts, because the machine didn't.
Okay, so that's what
They
you mean
didn't
by
deliver.
fraud. They were not good enough.
Yeah, they couldn't deliver that what.
So the badge.
That in the original contract told that it would be up to 95% of the capacity of a battery, and what I rarely got up to 80 one time, I think, or was it 50-60% best of the time? I couldn't invoice that to my clients or my customers. So it ended up that our company was we didn't sell, we just put it down, and that was my first experience with business, and within kind of not trading in that sense, but yeah. And this is, remember, this is, it's still, we are still in the late 90s here. We are beginning of 99 2000. So we have the dot-com bubble going on at the same time in another world. So I realized, okay, that's interesting. And I'm a computer guy from the beginning. I was puzzling around with computers since the early 80s. I was, of course, the Amiga 500s, the Ataris, all those things. Yeah, of course I did. And console games like Nintendo, the first versions and stuff like that. So I was really, from the beginning, I'm a super nerd. So this nerdy little guy that was nerding into everything was thought, okay, we're in the big tech bubble here. So and we just right then I had bought my first computer for my first salaries that I had. So I was puzzling around with internet and stuff like that because internet was in absolutely beginning. I think we got internet in Sweden 95, something like that.
Very early, that
It's
country.
kind of early.
Yeah.
We have dial-ups, the early 90s, and then we have ADSL. I think I have ADSL back in 98, 97,
98,
98,
I
something
think.
like that. Yeah, something like that. So, I bought my first computer, so that was the big thing. So I went online and did everything you could do online with looking around what kind of new stuff is out there, emailing and chat groups and stuff like that. So I thought this is interesting, and for a little while there, I thought, okay, let's start. I didn't have much money back then, so I got an idea to start buying stuff online. That was quite interesting. Yeah, this is now we are in
Okay,
the early
that early.
2000s. So that early. So we had nowadays you buy everything on Amazon and you can just click on your phone and you have everything by the door 24 hours later. The best case scenario. But back then it was a scary thing. I mean, if you want to buy something online, you can click on the screen and see something. Oh wow, what's this? Click here and you put your Visa card in there. But
Yeah, it is, because
that's
it's something
scary,
very...
that was scary. You didn't know the numbers. You have been scared to death for the banks have frightened you with, oh, don't put your numbers anywhere with your credit card or your cars because you'll end up even back then at the criminal. Oh, they will rip you off and blah blah blah. So not many people they didn't dare to buy anything online. It was just in the early ages. I mean, Amazon. You had Amazon. They were selling books back then.
Yeah, that's
they were
where it
a book
started.
shop actually.
Yeah,
They started with books. So I thought, okay, let's try furniture. So I found a place, actually a Swedish company in southern Sweden that sold furniture from Malaysia. So I started to import furniture. Yeah, so when nobody wouldn't
No,
dare buy
that's
anything
totally
online.
new.
Now we talk in Sweden, so we were very restrictive what we wanted to do or and stuff. And even Swedes are like kind of open minded, but you need to realize this is the early
It's very
2000s.
early.
So I was very early. So I realized, okay, why do I go to my furniture store down the road and buy, say, a sofa for? I mean, furniture in Sweden back then was really expensive stuff. I mean, you could buy a sofa for back then 20,000 Swedish. It's like today's value. Could it be like 5,000 euros for a sofa? So it was super expensive. So I thought, okay, here I can buy very exclusive furniture for a fraction of the price. I can buy them for. I remember I could buy sofas for 3,000 Swedish and import costs and stuff like that. Okay, it added up. At the end, I paid maybe a fourth. And then I had some friends that had houses and stuff. So I started to ask them, "Did you want? Are you interested in buying furniture?" I mean, yeah. What do you have? So I didn't have much. I just pictures, of course. So I told, okay. So I bought. I actually bought containers of furniture and started selling. And my friends they bought furniture from me. So that was my first experience of actually earning money. I thought this is good. So
Everything.
no, I didn't put up any
Okay.
websites back then. No, nothing.
you do it?
It comes later on. So this is just to be. I was just a regular guy living in an apartment, just buying stuff online with my card. I didn't have a company. I didn't
All
have
right.
anything of that. Just buy and sell. That's it.
Something very different.
I was
than you.
just there to do. I just find my opportunity, and this is kind of fun because we're talking about training here, and then yes, it is trading. I mean, we human beings, we are trading every day. We're trading our hours or salaries every day. That end up with a salary in the end of the month. So we are all traders. We don't realize it. Some people don't
Don't even
think it
think
that
about
way.
it.
But they trade actually their time against something that they get in the end of the month. That's that's very important that you realize what you're actually doing, what you're doing with your life and with your time. And I thought for me, time has been very, 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 very important. I started early, and I was full throttle ahead. When I was out, the military service was full bull. So I didn't. I just 110 full V8 with double turbo, full head on. And I thought if I'm going to make, I like stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to have a nice car when you are 22 or whatever? I mean, who want like have nice clothes, watches, whatever it is. And back then, a young guy back then I loved my technical stuff, home cinema and stuff like that in the early 2000s. So even those things, electronics, I bought a lot from Malaysia, from East Asia actually, so I could sell them and pay for my hobbies.
Very nice and very
So,
good.
so that was really good. So I could pay for my hobbies with the money I made. And in the middle of .com bubble, I thought, okay, let's do this for real. Let's invest a little bit. So there, my real trading journey, that what I'm doing today, start
Back in the
started
2000s.
back in the
Okay.
2000s. It was the late stage of the .com. So I put the money that I earned from my business, my hustling, with this was pure hustling. So I hustled it and I put it all into the stock market, and I tried. And back then, I must point out here, you couldn't short.
Okay, you could not short.
So you couldn't short back then. So the platform we used was they exist even today. They are called Avanza and Nordnet in Sweden. Yeah, I think they are global.
They're very
or
big.
Scandinavian.
Norway.
Norway as well. They have expanded, of course. I mean, this is 25 plus years ago.
Yeah, very big.
I remember I was one of the first clients on Nordnet actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So Avanza, I started with Avanza and realized quite quickly I got over to Nordnet because it was looking better, had a better platform, stuff like that. So yeah. So I started to trade the stock market, and I thought I was like every young guys. Okay, let's see how they do this. And the thing is, when you start on top of anything, and I will come back to that a little bit later, Joe, you think everything will go up. And I thought, this is good. Everything has gone up thousands of percent. So I started to buy stocks. Had no clue what I was doing. I did a little bit of research, of course, of the companies I was buying, and I thought, okay, let's do this, and hit the buy button. Just to realize a couple of months later that I have lost maybe 80% of all the money,
Oh.
all the money that I have earned. So
That happens a lot. with
yeah, I
people in the
mean,
stuff.
that's tough. And then I realized, okay, we pull out. We pull out. This is not that great. So the stock market, and everybody knows what happened afterwards. I mean, we had one of the greatest crashes. The 2000 .com bubble, one of the greatest crashes in human history. One of them. Have 29, 74, 70, 73, 74. You have the early 90s. You have the .coms. You have 2008. And soon we are heading to another one. But there and then I realized, okay, I have a situation here. I need to hustle some more.
Did you remember your very first trade?
Um, yeah.
What kind of stuff
I
were you
remember when
looking
I
for
first.
then?
I remember when the money first hit the account on Avanza. I remember that one. I thought, okay, this is cool.
Felt good, huh?
Yeah. Now I'm like the big hot shots on Wall Street, having my screen. Of course, I had 3 computers, very high tech computer, very good computers back then, very expensive stuff. I think I don't know the amount of money I had stuff for with the computers and the electronics. It doesn't matter, but I mean all the screens and all the stuff. But I have no clue what I was doing. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
I was just buying left and right, and
Trying to learn.
just to realize that a couple of months later, oh darn, this is going south, and that was not so great. I lost a lot of money there, but I still had my hustling, so I keep continue doing that. So I did keep continuing selling furniture, and I had electronics and stuff that I sold. And meanwhile, I still had my education, so I went back to work for a company in Sweden, in the town where I was living at the time. So I was doing that. First, I was actually was building fiber connections in a close town, the neighbor town of my town, and we were one of the first. It was one of the first neighborhoods in the world, I think, that could transfer 1 terabyte over fiber.
Wow,
Yeah,
that much.
that was a kind of a project. So I was there for a couple of months and was helping them out and was employed. What do you call it? Like you're hired out from another company.
Yeah, I understand.
More or less, yeah. I did that for a couple of months, and then I was hired of another company but that was within the industry once and again. So I did that for a couple of months as well. I mean, I need to have good to have a salary, have a steady income. I mean, I was a young guy, but I still did my hustling and have my business sidelines, stuff like that. Life continues continuing and going on. I mean, at the time in the early 2000s, I meet my girlfriend that I'm still with until this day. And yeah, when we met, she had 2 sons they were teenagers at the time, and they were very much into computer gaming. Uh, Everything with it, but just computers, computer gaming. And I have been playing a decent amount of games in the middle of the 90s, of course, 80s. Well, but I stopped doing that because it was a waste of time. I thought. I mean, I loved it 2 years maybe in the middle of the 90s when the first games came out. Then I had my first computer in 1997, 98, something like that. But at the time when my girlfriend's teenagers gamed all weekends, all week.
Yeah.
I was all into gaming. So, and they had friends, of course, that wanted to have good gaming computers. And the market, okay, we had a couple of small companies in the town where I was living that was selling computers, but I thought this is it's going it needs to be. I mean, it was quite boring. They had this boring office stuff
Yeah, the
that they
custom.
were, yeah, and they put a better graphic card in it and kept going. So, and we had, of course, if you search around online, you could get like better gaming stuff if you bought it from Stockholm or Gothenburg or whatever. So I thought, okay, this is a market I maybe I can do something about. It could be some shares here to gain. So I did a little research and I found a company Norrköping actually that were selling parts of computers, graphic cards, chassis, uh, motherboards, processor, but they had some ready to go computers as well. So they have built like were gaming, pure gaming computers, and I bought one of them. Try out and see, okay, if this is good, because I was very much into computers, and I for my business as well, or my hustling and stuff. So I change the computer every other 6 or 10 months.
All right,
Right.
that's
So, yeah,
fast.
yeah, I did change it quite fast because I thought this is, and the speed of things even back then was
Yeah.
astonishing.
Well,
Astonishing. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things could happen within a couple of just sometimes weeks. Like today, I'm not much into that nowadays, but I imagine with this AI frenzy that the computer. I've been looking around a little bit, and geez, a lot of things to choose from.
so
Back
many
then,
things.
you had maybe 3, 4, 5 maximum graphic card that you can choose. At what top of the line is like you have choose between the AMD or the Nvidia, and you have two, and this is better than the other, and there was always one or the better competitor, and they upgraded every, I think it was back then 2 or 6 months, something like that. And then a new card hit the market, and everyone was talking about that. Oh, this is this graphic, this card can do this, and you can play this game with this card and stuff like that. So, so I when I bought the first parts and the first computer from this company, I thought, because of the boys in my house that was into, they loved that their mom had met a guy that was into computers. It was like heaven for them.
Yeah, of course it was.
So there and then I started my first real business, and this was solely for computers and hardware. So I was selling computers and hardware online. So I started with this page called Blocket.
Look.
Blocket in Sweden. It's advertising page that you
All
can
right.
put out whatever you want to sell. It was the biggest back then, and I think they are the biggest even now. I think they are yeah, I think so. I haven't
Where
been, yeah,
private people can put
yeah,
out things
yeah,
to sell.
exactly. So I I started to put out the computers and stuff that I bought from this company in Norrköping. They were like a wholesale company. At the same time, they were selling. So, and they were on the brink of putting down the business. So that was good for me because I could buy the parts very cheap.
That's very good
Yeah,
for
that's
you,
very good.
yes.
Yeah, you need to have, once again, you need to cover your expenses. So that was the thing. So I started to hustle around with those things that I got my first order that I got. I was actually there and picked the first stuff up myself personally. So I was there and choosing the parts and stuff because I did back then know what was important to have to start, and that there comes the experience in with my nerdy tech background, of course. Then, so um, I built I started building the computers myself. So I built the computers from the ground up with chassis, motherboards, and stuff. They're called ProBytes. Today is kind of normal. I mean, to do to order from a company to have ProByte, you can choose whatever you like on the parts and stuff online on any website today. I presume I mean you just build them online yourself, and then it comes ready to run to your house. But back then it was like, okay, I had maybe 3, 4 companies doing this, 5.
Were
Okay,
they
if I
big?
take, yeah, I mean, if you take like say 10 companies that were quite So I started to build the computers and selling them. So I hand built the computers Probite and start selling them. There was my first real business. And when I was doing this, I was contacted by a young guy in the same town that was very skilled at programming, because I have done some programming, but this guy, he was something else. Absolutely it was absolutely fascinating to see how good it really was to start build stuff online. So he built my first web shop where you could order the computers and the parts and stuff. And it was really professional, really professional. So just there and then it took off seriously. So I think we were one of the biggest in Sweden back then with ProByte computers, and I had special packages that you could buy if you had an office, or if you were a day trader, or if you were a gamer, or to have different packages, or you could just come to my shop and I could tell you exactly what you needed, or what you wanted, or whatever. And you had in Sweden in the 90s the home PC, call it the home PC revolution, what you call it, the home PC. It was kind of deal with the government, that where the government wanted everyone in Sweden to have a home computer, and it was what's the name? It was deducted from the tax. So you could write it off tax wise. So the computer, if it, for example, cost back then what 20,000 or 30,000, you could write off, I think, half price, and you can even put it as a payment plan on your salary. It was kind of not so everybody in Sweden. So that was in the early 90s, the home PC revolution. I mean, the government told everyone now everybody needs a computer. It was really good because it even got those that didn't have that much money to buy a computer back then. I mean,
Quite
you can,
expensive back then.
very expensive.
It was nothing for
Yeah, and you got
everyone.
crap for
Yeah, exactly.
well, I don't know how much money, but I mean, the first laptop I had, I mean, back then cost me 3,000 euros. It's
Yes,
like
exactly.
7,000 euros today, and if you calculate for the inflation and stuff, so it was really expensive. But the government they made a deal with the population. Like, okay, deduct it from your tax, or you can write it off, and you can even have a payment plan every month. You can afford a computer. So everybody had a computer back then, but very few they didn't know what they were supposed
To
to
have.
what do I do with them? I mean, it was like they had a thing in their office that they didn't. Nah, they couldn't use it. They didn't know shit about. Okay, this is an expensive piece of furniture that I have here with the screen and everything, but I have no idea what to do with it, except for the gamers and nerds like me, of course. So I was in the end of that kind of era of the home PC revolution. So back in the 2000, this was 2003 to 2004. So I concentrated my business around gaming. So the gaming was
Because
big.
the thing is,
There was a
the
big
scene
deal.
with the CS,
Yeah.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, the Counter-Strike, because and this other StarCraft, you had Counter-Strike, and this other game like what was the name? They were playing it every day. I never played any games because I didn't have the time. I was building my company.
Yeah, busy working.
And all the screen time I had. Otherwise, I didn't have even 5 minutes to do anything else that was kind of fun. It was just work, 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 24 fucking 7. So, uh, what was the other game? Not Game of Thrones. No, that's the TV
Oh
show.
yeah, but
It's like that. It was
World of
super, super.
Warcraft.
World of
That was
Warcraft.
huge.
That was huge, and the guys, the boys in my house, they have these meetups when the friends came home and you put network cables
Yeah,
all
it was
over
so
the
much
floors
fun.
and I
The
was
LAN.
so yeah, the LAN meetings. Yeah, I know. It was quite fun because all the friends and because of the friends they wanted to have good computers to play on. So okay, I was there with my company, and provided them with the stuff they needed.
Very smart.
Yeah, it was actually like it was how it started with this stuff. I have stopped trading by then with the stock thing because we went into a bear market after the dot-com crash for up until 2006 2007 it started to move again, but then I was occupied with my other stuff, and with my computer company. And but like everything, I mean, if you sell stuff, you need to have coverage for your expenses. I mean, you need to and that's the thing when you trade and when you start a business, you need to know what the actual cost is, because you can have dreams and everything, and I get it. I have had dreams as well. I thought I was going to be the biggest company in the world and blah blah blah, but in the end, at the end of the day, I mean, you need to calculate what the thing when you have the turnover, whatever you had, you need to have some profit of what you sell. Doesn't matter what you sell, okay? And it's very hard, especially in Sweden, to have, if you do everything by the paper and by the book, it's very very hard to have an actual profit. And I mean,
Takes time, probably.
takes a lot of time, but the statistics unfortunately tell a different story. So statistically, most of the companies go bankrupt within 3 to 4 years. So
That
so
much.
that's hard, and it doesn't matter what business it is. I mean, it's very few, and the rest. I don't remember the number now, and I will not speak. Will not tell any numbers right now because I haven't been living in Sweden for 1.5 decade now, so it's many many years, almost 14 years. So, but if I recall correctly, back in the early 2000s, I think it was 80% something of all companies that start, all the startups go bankrupt within 3 to 5 years, like that.
A very tough
Yeah,
period
I mean,
for
you have
a
the
business.
odds stacked against you. That's the important thing. You need to realize those things because, like my first, the battery thing, I always was very very important with the big locales and the big flashy logotypes and all those things. But listen, you need to earn some dough here.
Yeah, that's the most important.
That's
More in than out.
yeah, and of course, anyone that sells you something tells you, and back, if you go back to the battery regenerating thing for business, it was like they told you this one machine will make you millions.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe had it paid itself, and every machine had made good salary, but it ended up in a total, not, yeah, fraud, collapse, call it whatever. It was not.
Were the
was not-
batteries good?
The batteries was, yeah, the capacity was it was an old technique. The first battery techniques with lead.
Okay.
I mean, the industrial batteries that you used for truck lifts and stuff like that was big lead batteries that were weighing. Yeah, someone could weigh tons. We're talking hundreds of kilos. Half a ton was very common. Very big and very expensive. Very hard to move around. And I mean, it was a counterweight. In a truck lift, you have a counterweight, and the battery was kind of a counterweight for it because it was so fucking heavy. So I
These were
mean, but then
huge.
the technique in the batteries, I can't remember the times for those batteries to be uh, in business. Actually, I can't remember now the time limit they had. If they exchanged them every 5 years or something like that. I mean, if you have like 10 trucks, truck lifts, 10 truck lifts, you add up every 5 year, you need to change 10 times what, 20,000 euros.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And if I could come in there, that was our calculation to come in and maybe regenerate those batteries for the fraction of that cost. If we could regenerate one battery and you had like 2,000 euros invoiced for one battery and you got maybe 90% of it back and they would hold up 3 more years, it was a fortune.
Yeah, that
You
would be
could make that was for the companies and obviously for us. And how many truck lifts didn't you have back then? Every small shop, every industry, it
grocery
was
stores.
thousands and thousands and thousands, and there was batteries like that everywhere. So that was our calculation. It was bad though. That in the background it was big fraud building up against the banks, and it was it was a messy story. It was a messed up story with our relatives and stuff like that. But so I mean the lesson. Do your calculations first and see where is the money. Where do you have the profit? You can, I mean, you can talk about. I mean, every big company has started somewhere. I mean, Jeff Bezos with his Amazon, for example, when he started with books, he was just the idea to sell books online was genius. I mean, to sell books, and in the early days, this was
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Makes sense.
The late 90s. I think it started 94, 95, something like that.
So.
Yeah. I can't remember now. But I mean, to sell books online was genius. It was very easy to ship and stuff like that. And you had a profit. You can easily take a good profit on top of every book you sold. And you get all the writers on the train to come and sell your books here. You will get them out much faster. You don't need to go to a certain bookstore and stuff like that. But even then, I mean, the Americans were a little bit on top of things when it came to go online and buy stuff. I mean, we talk about Swedes here. It was not we were still going to the store and buying. Buying something online was not. It was not. No, it was not every person's daily use. It exploded in the early 2000s. I think 2003, 2004 when I opened up 2004 I opened up my first web shop, and that was kind of an explosion because the phone started to ring immediately but there was the behavior was kind of
Not
interesting
normal,
because
yeah.
they put an order in, but they immediately called me up on the phone and asked, okay, are you real?
Yeah, exactly. Are you real?
Are you for real? Yeah.
Where am I sending my money
I'm for
to?
real. Okay. Yeah. I see your order here. We will process it as soon as we can. So we will start to build your product or computer, whatever it was. Yeah, it was that. So this was my first real. Made me some profit. So yeah.
nice.
So, but with everything, when the year goes, by, you need to be on top of things. When the time goes by and you sell and you sell and you sell and you don't keep. I mean, of course, I got competitors on the way that started to press the prices on parts, computers, and even ready to build or pro-byte computers. So when I was building my computer, my account called me up one day and after 2 or 3 years, I think, and told me, Daniel, this is you need to think of something else here because the numbers don't add up. You need to, I mean, when you grow bigger and the turnover get bigger and the things get bigger and you get employees and stuff, you really need to think about those numbers. And I mean, you're a stressed out guy that try to make a living, that try to maintain your customers and your clients as best as you can. But it's hard. It's hard. I mean, in the middle of this, you need to keep track of the numbers. And I did it kind of. I was doing it quite good, I think. So I wasn't that guy that I remembered I forgot to grow or forgot to making profit here. But the thing is, when things get ahead of yourself, very hard to kind of keep track of everything. So
It's a
so
lot of
yeah.
things.
So, but then I started to actually sell time instead. I start to consult time to bigger or uh, medium-sized companies, like an IT professional, to go out and have, because I have this guy that was really good at programming. So we started to sell solutions to companies. So I still built the computers for for customers online, of course. But the main thing was that I started to turn to more bigger or medium-sized companies to sell time, and sell the knowledge within IT. I mean, to be a consultant, special solutions, server solutions,
Okay.
client solutions, network solutions, everything that the company needs.
Yeah, that's very
I mean,
smart.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a consultant for bigger or medium-sized, small and medium-sized companies first and foremost. Could be anything from putting up a network, or a server, and or maybe they had a server that had broke down or whatever. You needed to reprogram it, or you need to switch it out, or you had, maybe they had, the medium-sized companies had departments in the administration that have like 5 clients, computers that were working at, and on the storage side they had another 3 computers, and they started to break down or whatever. They it didn't work. Okay, so you did. I did consultant time to selling solutions for small and medium-sized companies, and even bigger companies as well. So you could, that way you could invoice way much more than just selling hardware.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I realized selling hardware is hard. And especially electronics, because it's like selling food. It gets old,
Yeah.
and it
Okay.
gets old fast. I mean, if you buy uh, if a graphic card, for example, you put it on on the shelf, and you have in stock for even a month, it could half in price within a month, and it went faster and faster and faster.
New technology fast.
Yeah, and in meantime, the games starting to get more and more advanced, and it got faster and faster and faster. So if you had motherboards and you had graphic cards and you have all those processors, the processor was not that kind of a big, but the graphic cards, but that was actually the most expensive piece in a computer even back then. It is the computer. No, yes, it is the computer with the processor, of course. But that's one of the most expensive parts in a computer, is the graphic cards. So, and they got old very fast, and they dropped in price, and then you don't have a
And they
problem
were
anymore.
expensive, remember?
Very expensive, yeah. But even the inexpensive graphic card, I mean, if you need to see the I mean, if they have held in price within a month, or decreased with 10 20%. My profit was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I didn't have any profit, so I slowly but surely stepped away from selling hardware. Try to focus more on companies and selling my time as a professional IT consultant. Uh, Trying to sell solutions, whatever it was was would maybe at the time could be whatever they needed, a special solution for software for example, we had a construction company that had problems with, they had so many contracts with everything they did, the contracts everywhere. And back then, the construction companies didn't have a good solution for it to store those contracts within every project they had. So we actually built the software that could storage every project with every document and every project within that, those documents within those projects would just search on a file number within their own server, and they had it there, everything, and they could pick it up. Every client could pick it up easily, like an application on the screen, and they could just search for the batch number or whatever it was, and the whole project come up with all the documents saved within a special file. So it's like solutions like that we created. For example, so that was that was very important. That was very important lesson, that you need to sell and you need to get profit. And where is the profit? Where do you have the profit? You need to see it.
To find the profit.
The faster you see it, the better it gets, or even better, you don't go bankrupt.
Yeah, you can hold on and stay open for a couple more years.
That's true. That is true. So, I mean, to see the roadmap ahead of you and see the turning point. Okay, I don't need. If I go down this road a little bit more, this will not end that good. You need to think about, and even if you are in the, I mean, every entrepreneur knows this, knows those things, that if you are within whatever business you are, and you just put all your time and effort in, and you forget everything else. And most of the time, the first thing you forget, strangely, is the numbers. Kind of strange, but you think you're doing a good job, but it doesn't. If the numbers doesn't add up, I mean, stop what you're doing.
You probably have so much going on outside.
Going that's true, and also a lot of entrepreneurs and small companies and people that try to. I mean, if you are a little business that's hairdresser, whatever, or you're trying to sell clothes or whatever you do, you have a dream and you go for that dream, and that's not the way. Forget the fucking dream. Look at the numbers. Don't chase a dream. Okay, dreams are good, but you can have them at night. Okay. Try to see the numbers and try to see them ahead, and it's not easy all the time. And I get it. You want to be the entrepreneur, and you want to be self-employed and blah blah blah. But man, listen. Most of the times, better you go back to the work you came from and get a salary, because you will end up bankrupt. And unfortunately, for most people that have tried, that's where they end up. And if you are not stubborn enough, like an idiot like me, then you can keep going. But you have also the time and the health to think about. So my health took a little bit of a turn back in 2008. I was one evening feeling pain in my chest, so I thought this is bad. Was kind of what you call it when it goes out in the left arm and yeah,
Electricity.
exactly. Like, okay, like that, like to have the left arm like
Numbed
numbed.
and electricity.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, now I die. So I told Angelica, my girlfriend, that I need to go to the hospital because this is bad. I feel really really sick. I'm feeling ill because it had been so many things. Yeah, a lot of stress. I was stressed out. I was so stressed out. I mean, I had like, also a little daughter back then. She was just a couple of years. I had a big house to take care of. Have this company, and I have all my clients, and I have thousands and thousands of things. And just this evening, I thought, okay, now I die. But it was not that bad. I went to the hospital, and the doctor looked me up and everything. So now I was actually okay. The thing is, it was kind of an what you call this anxiety attack.
Anxiety attack.
Anxiety attack. I didn't know what anxiety was back then. I have no clue. It was just something. They call they nowadays everybody knows what it causes. Hit the wall, whatever you can call it, whatever. But in my mind, stuff like that didn't exist. And I came back quite quickly. But my girlfriend told me, okay, listen, Daniel, we need to stop this eating in the middle of the night. You cannot do this anymore. You need to think about your health first. I was overweight, a little bit too much alcohol in the weekends. Like all the Swedes, all the
That
Scandinavians.
happens.
Yeah, especially when you're a stressed entrepreneur as well. So she told me, okay, stop eating at nights because I was up working at late nights. I couldn't have this. This diet didn't work anymore, so stop that thing. And she told me you need to think about yourself. You need to think about your health to get into train a little bit more because I was training hard when I was in my late teens. I was training a lot. The gym has always been a big part of my life, but those years from when I met my girlfriend at the my girlfriend back in 2003, 2002, I stopped the gym because I was all in on this company or this entrepreneurial stuff. So, so I didn't take care of my health at all for many years. So that was bad. So it took me more or less up until 2008 when this day. So I was staying in the hospital over the night, and the doctors checked me out, and I was okay actually. It was not that
What's
bad.
the body telling you need to slow
Yeah,
down?
it was actually my body telling me, okay, Daniel, you need to do something else or you need to calm down. You need to put the brakes here because otherwise you will end up in a very bad situation. So I did. So I changed a lot of things. I got back to the training and the better diet. Actually took up my golf game again. And Angelica, because I was a golf player I started playing golf when I was 7, something in the middle of the 80s. So I took up the golf again, the golf game, and I was absolutely hooked because I have not done anything for myself.
Just working, no fun.
Just working,
No
no fun
hobbies.
at all. Just working, paper stuff, accountants, numbers, everything. Just work. Nothing for myself at all. And that's also a lesson as an entrepreneur, and when everybody knows what I'm talking about, that have been self-employed, that, and especially nowadays with the inflation and the taxes and stuff, that very hard. You just work, just work, just work, and then you thought, okay, I will. take care of my own economy. I will take care of myself. I don't want to be an employee. I don't want to have the salary. Nobody can tell me what I was going to earn at the end of the month. If I want to earn 1 million a month, I will do it.
Can do
Okay,
it. Then you
yes, I
choose
can
to
do
do
it.
it yourself.
Nobody will tell me, okay, you have this, whatever, 20,000 Swedish kroner, whatever it was back then, 25, whatever, after taxes. It was like, what am I supposed to do with this? This is not for me. I want to have the fancy cars, and I want to have the fancy stuff. This is not enough. I want to have the big bucks, man.
I can understand
That was my thing. I want to have the big bucks, so that's why. But the thing is, you exchange that dream for something else, and that's hard work, and that's many long hours, and it could be your health, and it could even be your life. I mean, a lot of people have been dying at their posts.
heart attacks and
Yes,
other,
yes,
stress
and they die
related
early.
diseases.
When they have reached the success and they have the houses and the fucking cars or whatever they wanted to have, the fancy watches and stuff. They are maybe in the 60s, and they die of heart attacks or heart failure or some other
lot of
strange
stress-related
disease that I
very
doesn't know the name of or whatever. I mean, stressed out and overweight and miserable.
it's like you have to sacrifice a lot to be successful. That's the thing.
Yes,
And you
yes,
need to find
yes.
good structure and routines.
You need to
I think.
find a good structure, and you need
because
to
you need
be.
to enjoy life too. That's the
Yeah,
whole
you need to
point.
do that. Yeah, but the thing is, you forget it because you're chasing the numbers. You're chasing the numbers. And it's kind of a catch-22 here, because you need to chase the numbers. But when you chase the numbers and you don't get them to add up, you get stressed out and you work even harder, and then you work harder, and then you get you lose track of the numbers, and then it's a doom loop. You end up in a doom loop, and you could be, of course, not everybody, but it's very, very common. But that's very important to have maybe people around you if you are fortunate enough, or you have made that great progress that you can have a lot of employees that can do the hard work for you. But even then, you have a responsibility, and earning those big bucks is responsibility. I mean, look at guys like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Tesla's Elon Musk. I mean, they have a huge responsibility against their employees, the companies, even the freaking government.
A
I
lot
mean,
of
it's a lot of responsibility, and you need to understand those things. Do you really want that?
Not for everyone.
It's definitely not for everyone. So you need to realize, you need to ask that question first, because you never know if you step on something that could be huge, whatever it might be. I mean, we had some guys in the same town that I was living in back then that started a company. I remember they were selling construction, those when you build houses, you have those called the same thing you build scenes. What is the name now? I need to check that up. No, not bricks. It's like I need. Yeah, it is. Oh man.
Norwegian we call it maybe still.
Exactly. Racks, scaffoldings, racks. But those racks or scaffoldings, they sold them to private persons, and normally when you maybe you had a house and you need to repaint it, and I, for example, my house, I rented a skylift, and I thought that was the best idea. I mean, a skylift, you can go everywhere with it around your house, but this scaffoldings, you construct them in a way,
the way you need it.
on the each side of the house where you wanted to have it, and everybody wanted to renovate their houses and repaint the houses back in the early 2000s. Maybe they do still. I don't know. That was a big thing back then. So they started to sell those private persons. I thought this will never go. I mean, who in their right minds buy those things when you can rent them? I thought, but they made a fortune.
They did.
And they sold to everyone.
People wanted it.
And everyone was buying those things, and I was absolutely done. What is this? Why do you buy those things? I mean, where do you store
where do
them?
you gonna have
When
it?
you're finished painting the house, I was back with my fucking skylift to the company that I was renting them off. But these guys or this all those people were buying those things to put away somewhere in the garage. But and then I asked a couple of friends, I think, that were buying those. Oh, but it's good to have. They told me. You never know. You never know what could be the next blow up.
No, obviously not.
What could be the big thing, the next big thing? And I thought for myself, I would never buy anything like that. So you never know.
No, you don't.
You never know. So, and that's the thing with cigars as well. I mean,
I was just wondering, did you have any mentors? Or are you self-taught?
no, I'm self-taught. I mean, my mother and father my father was a police officer, and I come from a family with they're academics. My mother was a sales officer within a big company. So they were not they tried a little bit. They had some boutiques back in the early 80s selling clothes.
Okay.
They tried to be a little bit of entrepreneurs back then, but they still had their jobs. So they tried to trust their employees to run their business for them. And I can tell you that will never work.
No,
That will never work. You need to be on top of
you need to have your own vision.
You must do that. You cannot lay over the trust to somebody else to run your company for you and make the dollars for you. Forget that. Forget it. You need to be on top of things. Anybody says anything else, he lies. So that's the thing. So my parents were kind of, but they were still employees. So they were not entrepreneurs. So I have nobody to ask.
Okay.
I nobody to ask. My father was good in many ways, but he was not the entrepreneurial guy, so to speak. No. And my mother definitely not. And none of my family or relatives were. So I was the only one. And I didn't have many to ask. I mean, to be an entrepreneur back in a small town in Sweden in the 90s, in the early 2000s, you're kind of alone.
Yeah.
You need to figure things out yourself, the hard way.
The hard way.
The hard way.
You gotta
many
be
times.
curious though, and seem like you have been very curious about things.
I've been very curious.
And
The
interested in many
the nerdy me and the curious me, I've been always been like that. That's I think that's very important.
Yeah.
If you wanna be something or go somewhere in life, that you need to be curious about things. What could stuff lead to? And that brings us to the late 2009 to the late 10s, 2010, 2011, when me and my girlfriend decided that we're out of here. I sold my company, my computer company, back in the spring of 2009.
All right.
So after this kind of heart failure, or what you're supposed to call it, when my health told me to stop, and my girlfriend told me that enough is enough. So we have a thought about it, and I was starting to do quite well then. So I actually, I tell you what, we try to sell this thing and get rid of it, and I can maybe do some small consulting things to other companies, from clients that I still have. So I started to do that. So I sold it in the spring of 2009. I sold the company. And what do you do then? Yeah, you get another crazy idea, because on the sideline of everything we have talked about here, I was into those things.
Yes, you're also known to enjoy cigars.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a cigar lover since I've been smoking cigars for 25 years, approximately.
Long passion.
So yeah, it's a long, yeah, it's a lifelong passion. It is. I started smoking when I was already, well, how old was I? 21, 21 something. I tried my first real cigar. It was actually a friend. We were a group of friends at the gym at the time that were had parties, and we were out on those trips with the you have those boats goes over to Finland, those ferry trips.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were on one of those, and my friend at the time, he was smoking cigars. It was quite a bit older than me. I think it was 15, 20 years older than me. So he told me, and I was so healthy back then. Oh, no cigar, no smoking, blah blah blah. I was doing the snooze thing. I was doing the nicotine. I got my nicotine. I was for 10 years doing snooze. I started with this tobacco in the mouth when I was 15, I think, and stopped when I was on and off until I was 25. But the cigars took over. So
Something to enjoy
yeah,
more
it was
in
it
a
was a
different
passion
way.
that I had. I started. So this guy on this one of those trips, he told me, "Okay, Dan, you need to try one of those things." So never, I said, never. I would never try it. Okay, okay, hand me the thing. So I tried, and I was hooked immediately.
We're
Immediately.
hooked.
Yeah, I was hooked immediately. So it was so nice, and it looked so good. I mean,
That's
my
okay.
grandfather was smoking cigars when I was a boy, and back in the days, everybody smoked. But smoking a cigar and enjoying a cigar is something. If you have a good cigar, it's it's a big passion. It's enjoy life, calm down, you have a good chat, like we have now. So
Perfect.
yeah, so this is two, 2000, exactly 2000 in spring. So I had my first cigar experience, and it started actually aside of everything else I did with the computer stuff. Of course, I went online again. A search, where can I get those bastards?
Of course.
So I found actually a company or a wholesaler or a boutique in New York that were willing to sell to me. So I imported from New York. I imported the cigars and I got a couple of companies there that sold to me. So I imported cigars. So it started up. It started like I was take I was getting the cigars into Sweden, and I was selling them to my friends, the same friends that got me introduced with the cigars in the first time.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah, that's cool. That was cool. I started selling the cigars to them and to refinance my own hobby, because cigars can be quite expensive.
They can. It seems to
Yeah.
me that it's all price ranges in so many different kinds,
Yeah,
and the
it's
way they
a
are
lot of yeah.
created.
The origin of the cigars could be from I most of the cigars I smoke nowadays is Cubans. Since I moved to Spain, yeah, since I moved to Spain, I was smoking Cuba. I mean, it was hard to get Cubans in. Just I had a wholesaler or another boutique. Okay, I come to that later on. But the Cubans is something that I enjoy very much, because when I started to sell cigars, it was very hard to find them. Couldn't import them. You could import from Canada, but it was so expensive.
Far
Yeah,
away.
super expensive, and I couldn't get them from United States because they had the blockade from against Cuba since the 60s. So that was impossible. So I I was most of the time smoking Dominican and Nicaraguans, and they are fantastic cigars. Most of the times, especially after the pandemic, the Nicaraguans and the Dominicans has been way better taste wise. So not the quality has been there with the Cubans, but if you buy it, I mean the prices have gone up for the Cubans, but the taste has been terrible.
Okay.
So the quality
Quality has
taste
been.
wise has been horrible. Yeah, yeah. Way. I stopped smoking Cubans for a couple of years until now. So now they have shaping up their game again. So that was back in the early 2000s as well. So I started to sell. Of course, I created an online shop for the cigars as well. Sell cigars. This you need to remember. This was a side of everything else I did. This was a hobby.
Side
This is
hustle.
a side hustle. I always had a side hustle.
Yeah. Always nice to
So I
have
was
some
selling
passive
cigars.
income.
Yeah. Always need to have a passive income. So I was selling cigars on the side of my computer business. Of course, I did to maintain those pricey things and maintain my hobby economically. So I could afford those
Awesome.
rarities. So I think we can light up a couple of our. Oh. And the thing is, 2009, back to I was selling my company. I had a neighbor back then. Of course, I had small community with the villas and everything. So my neighbor jumped over the fence and told me, Daniel, now that you have sold your company, what you're going to do now? I don't know, really. This was in the summer of 2009. I had a nice boat I was enjoying. We were at the lakes most of the time that summer. I recall, and we were out having a good time in the boat. And my neighbor was with us a lot of times. We had a great time, and he told me, Dan, you need to do something now. We have this money and everything. Start a business. What kind of business? We sell cigars in a boutique downtown. And you need to remember now, I come from a very small industrial town in the middle of Sweden that is like, what, 30,000 inhabitants, something. Karlskoga.
Okay.
The same name, yeah. It's on the board now with BAE systems and all the wars around the world, selling the guns to all the bad people or whatever they say, defense stuff.
Okay.
No,
so
I don't think so.
Industrial.
Yeah, so the industry, so Karlskoga is nowadays very, very famous. Everybody knows what it is, but back then, okay, Bofors, the company, back then was a big deal. Defense material to they are selling defense material actually. So I've been doing that since 1800.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
so it was
long history
at its
of
peak
that.
back in 1985, something like that. And then a lot of bad things happened on the political arena, and it was almost went bankrupt. Not bankrupt, but they were reconstructing the company quite horribly. And then BAE Systems, it's an American company, I think, bought them back in the 90s. Yeah, so it's a small industrial town, anyways. With, I mean, people in a town like that is very inbound. They are not. They are not like here on the coast, where everybody is like open mind, or like the Americans.
Yeah,
it's so different to grow up in a town like that, where I mean, you have your little industry or whatever you have, and you go to your work and you go home and you close the doors and you're inside and you have the winters and you have, oh man, this is so different. And to start a cigar shop in a town like that, I thought never, ever I would do that. But I had a dream. Oh, once again, I had a dream. That freaking dream comes up to me.
Nice
So
to
I
have
had,
dreams.
oh yeah, exactly. So he thought, maybe Daniel, we create this boutique where we can sell cigars, and we have this walk-in humidor, and we have a cigar lounge where we can smoke cigars, and we can have seminaries where people comes and blah blah blah. And I was thinking about, no. I mean, at the time I had built up a private stock of cigars with almost 1,500 cigars.
Wow.
So it was a huge stock of private a private stock
Did you
of cigars.
import it from?
Yeah, I imported them and I sold them, and I had my own storage with the cabinets in my house and humidors and everything. So at one point I thought, oh, what the heck am I going to do with all these cigars? I've been buying them for years and years, and I've been stacking them up like a hoarder, like a collector. You know, I'm a collector in my genes. I love to collect things, unfortunately. So so I had a lot of cigars in my house, and I thought, okay, and my friend also didn't know that I have all these cigars, and he thought we sell them, we sell them, and I was thinking about it a couple of months, and when the autumn came, it was like, okay, 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 we go, okay, we start, okay,
to sell everything you have.
yeah,
been,
so I had the web shop for the cigars, was already in place and was up and running, and I was selling to, yeah, not much. I was not selling much. It was a little side hustle. I didn't have that much turnover. I sold a little bit online every now and then because I have kind of unique cigars from Nicaragua and Dominican that didn't exist in Sweden. Fine. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So okay. Meantime, while I'm talking, I can light up the cigar. So so we started to explore some locales or boutiques downtown in Karlskoga where we could have this shop, and we found one, and we started the cigar shop and we're building it from scratch. We built everything in this.
Okay.
We built the walking humidor, the counter desk, everything, and we bought furniture, exclusive furniture and carpets, everything like that. So, and in the walk-in humidor, it was a big one, like those we have downtown here in Coast. So I put all my private stock into the company, and we started from there. And it was a good start actually. So it was fun to have, and I had seminaries with people, groups coming, companies that bought our sessions. That I was talking about cigars and had seminars with cigars and how you light them up, behave around the cigar, how you smoke them. This was, I mean,
When was this?
a cigar is so different from any other thing, tobacco, whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with cigarettes. It's a totally different world. Cigarettes nowadays, or have been for many years, is just chemical.
Yeah, yeah.
It's chemicals. I don't know the numbers of chemicals. 90, 100
It's a lot.
chemicals. Oh, it's a lot of chemicals. So it's only created for get you hooked on a nicotine.
Yes.
That's it.
That stimulates.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
nicotine.
And the cigar is so different. Cigar is like it's handcrafted from the finest tobacco in the world, and that's why they are so expensive. Of course, Cuban nowadays easily 15, 20 euros a piece. But the Dominicans and the Nicaraguans nowadays could be find them 30, 40 euro a piece. What you're smoking there or start to smoke now is a Vega Fina. It's the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
From the Garcia, Fabrica de Garcia, La Romania in Dominican Republic. I will light it up for you so you can start a little bit and you can take the end. Because it's a little bit of a technique how you light up a cigar. You will never ever burn it.
Okay. No.
Don't coal it. It's like a piece of coal front end. Slightly warm up the wrapper of it. The wrapper is the cover.
Okay. Yeah.
Cover of the cigar that you have. You slightly warm it up. So I see that's the first mistake a lot of people do. They take the torture and they burn it the heck
Yeah.
out of it. I mean, why? Are you stressed?
You're not supposed to stress.
But that's the thing. It's like a ritual. I mean, Take your time. You have any cigar? Take your time. Relax. Let it come. Let it come to you. I mean, let it slowly build up like that. Now we start. Now you can let it to rest a little bit. I will take mine. Now we'll light it up. So, my business, I had that for maybe 1 or 2 years, and was, I mean, the first year was fantastic. We had a good turnover, way more than I thought. But the second year was not that great. I mean, it was, I think, it was kind of big news in the beginning, and then people start to realize, okay, cigars are expensive. We're heading into the financial crisis, 2009,
Yeah,
2008.
2008.
People
Yeah.
got less and less. People got less and less cash out to buy expensive stuff. Their credits ran out. Also did our shop. So it was hard to maintain it. Also back to the numbers. Well, once again, I mean, we had a good coverage. We had it on the cigars that we sold because I could import them very cheaply from the United States. But I mean, after it doesn't matter how much you have in profit cigar if nobody buys it. So that's another problem. You need to sell your product. You need to have a transaction, and if the transaction run out, okay, you're back on square one again. So that's the problem. So unfortunately we were forced to close. But same time, meanwhile I did my IT consulting thing. So I did that for maybe 1 or 2 years after we closed down the cigar shop. But it was a fun thing. It was a fun trip. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, it was one of the coolest thing I'd done in my life to have my own cigar shop. Oh yeah, fantastic. I mean, to have see those pictures of this fantastic boutique that we created with the logotypes and the web shop, and we had this beautiful walk-in humidor, beautiful, and it was with this cigar lounge. It was the only but because the smoking bans started to appear. I think it was 2005 or six or something like that. But my boutique, you were allowed to smoke and enjoy a cigar.
That's
Whenever
really,
you
really
could
nice.
come in there and have a cigar and a coffee whenever you liked, but not cigarettes. That was forbidden. If you have a tobacco pipe, that was okay, and you could have a cigar, but not cigarettes. That was prohibited. So we didn't even sell
No,
cigarettes.
it's just a cigar.
Cigarettes was no, just cigars. The cigarettes was banned in my boutique. So
Did you have
also
courses
yeah.
that people could come
Yeah,
in
yeah,
and
but I
learn
mean,
and
to sit
stuff?
there, imagine to go walk in a small town in the middle of Sweden, buy a exclusive cigar, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy a cigar. I mean, and I met a lot of people I have a good chat with back then in my cigar lounge that could come in lunchtime and evenings and whatever when we had open. So I was all the groups from company leaders and stuff that came in that I had seminars with. It was incredible. It was an incredible, way more
Yeah, it
fun
seemed a lot of
than
fun.
starting the computer company and those
You can
things.
interact with people and the customers.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, connect because you connect.
They will. You can see them enjoying it. Yeah.
Exactly, and the hobby and everything around this, because it's been a great hobby of mine. I love my hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. So, but the cigars have been this has been a big thing in my life for 25 years. Will be as long as I live. I can tell you that, because enjoying a cigar with good friends, and especially after a meal and whatever, you have a good barbecue and you have something good to drink, you have a good chat and friends around and you have a good cigar, man.
It's very good.
That's something. That's so good. That's so good. So that's been a great thing in my life, the cigar business and the cigars. Um, but then my girlfriend and I, we decided, okay, we're we think because she was employee at BAE at the time, so working long hours uh, on the higher level there. So she wanted something else. We wanted something else. Yeah, we have tried everything now. Yeah, we had our nice house and the cars and the boats, whatever. And actually, we were discussing to move abroad already back in 2004, before I started my computer company, to the United States. But then we got our little daughter, so it was, move there with, I mean, the visa stuff. If you want to go to the United States with a child and you want to do it properly, it's almost impossible to do it correctly with the visas. Oh, it's a headache. So those plans went out the door quite a minute. But then the plans reappeared, but in a different kind of state, 2011. And we thought, okay, we don't want to have this long, cold winters.
Understandable.
I mean, the darkness and the cold, and I freaking hate snow, man.
Me too. I don't like freezing.
Winter. No, I hate freeze. To freeze is the worst thing. And the snow, I can't stand it. I mean, I've never been, even when I was a kid, I was playing ice hockey and all those things, but I mean, I hated the snow. I hated the snow. Never liked it. So we thought, okay, we need to look on to change this. We only live once.
That's
okay?
the good idea. And that place became a new life in Spain. You made a big move emigrating to Spain with your family. So, what motivated that decision? Why Spain?
Yeah, well, the motivation came from, first and foremost, the climate, and get the hell out of there, okay, and see something else. Because I always have thought that I was born in the wrong place, in the wrong country. I was never a guy that was supposed to live in Sweden. I'm not that Swedish. I'm more, I don't know, American maybe.
International, definitely.
Yeah, but the thinking
American
of it
also
all.
when
I
it
mean,
comes
to
to
have,
business.
yeah, I mean, to be they call it the American way, but I think the entrepreneurial way. I mean, to have today I will call it international. I'm more international. I don't like being. I mean, now I am at but here in Spain, in southern Spain, you meet up. It's so international. It couldn't be more international. I mean, you have 250 different countries represented here, more or less, with people from all over the world, and people that is, I, I mean, the people that comes here and stays here. Not, I don't talk about the tourists or the people that really move here and are still here and live here since many years are special people. I wouldn't call them especially elite or something like that, but they are special. It's the entrepreneurial. Every guy or girl I meet that has been living here for a long time have been creating companies or doing great stuff or being exceptionally good in some sport or whatever it could be. I mean, you have this special kind of breed comes and lives here and can stay here for a longer period of times or forever, hopefully. So I mean, that's the first and foremost. The first thing. I mean, if you like us back then in Sweden, 2011, we were fed up with everything. I've sold my company. I was fed up with the IT thing and everything. So I mean, but listen, you need to all over again. You need to look at the numbers. Okay, we have a daughter that is in what, it was 7 at the time, and my girlfriend's boys have grown up then and moved out since a couple of years, so they were adult by the time we were deciding to move out from Sweden. So that was not an issue. So it was just me, Angelica, and our daughter. And the real motivation came from, first and foremost, the climate, and to get to a warmer place, and to see something else. I mean, I've been living in this small town for most of my my life. Actually, I have been living in some small other towns in Sweden, but I mean small towns. I've been there for so many years. I thought I want to see something else. I want to
A
experience
change.
something else. I want to live somewhere else. And this dream, now we got there with the freaking dream again. But I had this dream when I was a kid that I want to. And back then it was only United States. I want to go there and I want to move there and blah blah blah. Like all the kids back in the 80s, I think we were so United States influenced. Everyone were. So, but when you're adult and you have different things to think about, I mean, uh, you need you see it with other eyes, and Spain was great because we didn't want to move too far away from her sons. I mean, we want to have a
Yes,
flight back home
very easy.
if yeah, very easily if something happens or if she wanted to meet. I mean, they my girlfriend have grandchildren, so it's very important to her to get back there the 2 times at least a year. I mean, and for me, I mean, I don't have much to go there. I haven't been to Sweden for I think it's 11
Wow,
years
that's
now.
long.
It's a long time. I mean, I'm an old hunter, so I was hunting. Our family was doing. We had our relatives had owning a farm in the middle of Sweden, so we were going there every autumn and for hunting moose. We're doing that for since the 40s. My grandfather was a hunter, my dad was a hunter, and I was starting hunt with the hunting thing back in the early 80s. I was with my father in the woods and started to hunt myself. I shot my first moose already when I was 16. So and I was a hunter I did for well above 25 plus years. So but I stopped doing that. So the first years in Spain actually I went back to Sweden in the autumn to hunt, and I stopped doing that. I think it was 2014. Yeah, yeah. This the last hunt I was back in 2014. And then we were yeah, we were migrating here to Spain. And the thing is the numbers again. Oh, I got sideline. I have so many sidetracks. I
No, that's fine.
rambling
It's
around
fine.
with.
Yeah.
But the
Interesting to
thing
hear
is
about.
that the numbers again when you move. I mean, you have a family. You have all those things to consider. So it was tough. The first 2 years was really tough. I had my knowledge within IT, and I did know let me down anywhere on the planet with a passport doesn't matter. I will fix it. I will fix it because my knowledge within IT, I will fix it. No worries. And of course, here in Spain back then, they were way after when it comes to technology and IT back then. So I was in the middle of the pie. We drop down here and come here and do the IT stuff that I did. So I started a small boutique downtown to repair computers, actually, and cell phones. Yeah, can you imagine? So
That's pretty
I
cool.
was back to
Back
basic
to
again.
basic.
Back to repair. But there and then I started to get some contacts because a lot of people that came in with the computers they had, of course, they have businesses and stuff. So I started to do consulting work for the business all over again. I started to make web pages, WordPress pages, home pages, web shops, whatever. So I was quite aggressive with my work. So aggressive that the company actually did realize, okay, some guy here all of a sudden that take work from us. We need to do something about this. So I got headhunted from this company. So they told me, okay, you come over and work for us instead. So I did that. So this company was really good. So they hired me, and I was a consultant for them for a couple of years, and was actually doing. I was the chief technician officer on the company, in a bigger company, a Spanish company, for the first 3 years. Yeah, 2.5, 3 years, something like that, and did some small projects on the sideline up until 2016. Then I decided I will pension myself because I found crypto back then. So I found crypto and I got back to trading again.
Yes.
I decided there and then I was fed up with the IT business and I was fed up with all those things, and I was dabbling into Bitcoin, started to buy Bitcoin.
When was this?
And this was 2000 and I started to look at it 2016, but I was a year after, so 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was starting to go into Bitcoin first and foremost, and start to buy the assets straight ahead. So I didn't know about Bitcoin, because the thing was that Bitcoin back in 2008, when I had my computer companies back in Sweden, this employee I had, this guy that was this programmer, he was we were actually looking at it back in 2008 already, when the first came out, but it was a gaming coin.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I'm not interested in stuff like that. I have a business to run. I mean, what this is like play toys. What do you do with that? I mean, and actually, a lot of people they don't want to remember, but I mean, Bitcoin actually from the beginning is a gaming coin. It is a coin made for poker players, and it's in the first line of code since April of 2008. In the first first code, you can see it, but they today nobody talk about, because now it's the big institutional asset and blah blah blah. Okay, but that's, by the way, it's 21 blackjack.
Okay.
21 million.
Yeah.
This is stuff that people doesn't want to talk about today, because they need the narrative that Bitcoin will go up in the sky and forever high, which it will not, but it will come down, like it always do. Very high. It's very high value. The price is very high, but the valuation is very. What can I say? The valuation is, nobody actually knows the valuation. You can talk about the network and stuff. For me, Bitcoin is the best, but of different kinds of reasons, and that's his freedom. Okay. Yeah, and that's why I started to trade again, because it is freedom. I love my freedom. I love to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it, and I want to buy things when I want to buy things. And I don't want to have anything. I make money with trading is very hard, and it takes a long time. And I don't recommend anyone on the planet to start with it. Invest, yes, that you must do, because of the inflation, and you cannot trust any pension funds or any pensions nowadays, and you will never trust it. Simply because you can't. Because the pension, I wouldn't say it's kind of a fraud, but you pay for something that you don't know, and especially my generation will never ever see any pension ever. And if we get any pension,
It's
it
gonna
will
be
be inflated away.
Not very much.
Yeah. No, but you cannot say it out loud. I do it now. I say it out loud because I can say whatever I want, because nobody tell me what I want to say. So that's the thing. So you need to invest, but trade is something else. If you're a good trader, you can earn huge amounts of money. That's what you like. But to invest is way better. I mean, just invest, and invest wisely. Is crypto thing? Yeah, probably, maybe. Some of them would be fantastic, but it all comes down to cycles, and cycles, where we are in the cycle right now, the fourth turning, and we are in the end of a big economic cycle. So you need to be aware of those things, So if you know the monetary system and how that works, so the last 10 years I have been studying the monetary system very, very hard and closely. So that's the first thing for anyone to going to invest. Just don't do that. What I did back in the early 2000.com crash. Buy stuff. don't push the buy button. Just don't. Wait and see what you can actually. What was the most wise thing to do? I mean, you want to have your money still maybe a little bit more what you had today in the future. So that's why you need to really think about what you're doing. So even with investing, I mean, investing is hard as well, but you can invest in different kinds of things, stocks, crypto. So I started with buying crypto.
Buying, yeah.
Not trading it. Buy. Just buy it and hold it, and it went up.
And then you talk about the
A lot.
Bitcoin and the Ethereum, the biggest one.
I started with Bitcoin, and I started with Ethereum. I think I bought Ethereum at $50 something, and Bitcoin was around 2003 when I bought it first time. But the first mistake I did there was, okay, Bitcoin is the nerd and the curious me, of course. I was doubling into this white papers and information about what this really is and how. Okay, this is Bitcoin is this fantastic thing that the network effect, like that you have this proof of work, and then it's
Yeah.
it's brilliant, but for transactions it's not that brilliant. Then you have maybe hundreds of other cryptos that is way better to use. And then you have those two camps again. You have the Peter Schiff camp, and you have this Max Kaiser camp, where the two camps, the Peter Schiff thinks it's no valuation at all. Of course, it has some valuation, $120,000 valuation. No. This is a frenzy. This is actually right now a bubble. We are in the bubble territory, but we are on the greatest bubble in history of mankind.
Gonna be.
Never.
You haven't seen this.
Never have we ever. Never, ever in anything. I mean, houses is in a bubble. Crypto is in a bubble. Everything is in a bubble except one thing or two things. It's gold and silver. Gold and silver, and that's money. That's real money. The gold and silver. A history of 5,000 years.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of gold will always be
and I think, of course,
we go back
Bitcoin as well. But Bitcoin is more like a symbol of freedom for me. I love Bitcoin. Now it got hijacked at Wall Street, so with this horrible ETF thing, and that they will own the Bitcoin for you. But listen, the whole idea with Bitcoin is that you own it yourself.
Yes, the freedom.
Why the heck are you going to buy a freaking company share to hold something that is you're supposed to hold yourself?
Exactly, that was the point.
That's fucking stupid. And there you have Michael Saylor in front of all this. By the way, I think he will be liquidated. He will go down in history of the biggest fraud ever. I mean, this is terrible. It's terrible. And all these companies aping in on this. And it will be something huge in a bad way. Unfortunately, I think so. I could be wrong, of course. Of course, I could be wrong. But I think this will end very badly. And it will end very badly for a lot of people.
I mean, when it's going to be a very big economical crisis, it's going to be worldwide.
Of course,
we can
it's
see
globally.
the inflation now is going up a lot in every country. The food prices.
Yeah, you have the
plane tickets.
Exactly.
I mean, just to
the worst thing of everything nowadays is the credits. I mean, people. How much? Oh man, that's terrible. They used to be what, $1? Yeah, three €3, something like that. Yes, the stock market is all-time high. Yeah, that's why.
Up and down.
The thing is, when I started to invest and started to buy those things, of course, when everything goes up, you think you're a genius all over again. Everybody thinks they are a genius. So, and I woke up one morning actually, and realized I was not that genius after all, because I've lost so much money in a crash. This was in the spring, in May 2021, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
21. So I woke up one morning when Bitcoin had a huge liquidation, one of the biggest liquidation ever, and I was so over leveraged. I had so much leverage. I have maybe 14 positions open, and I was fucking wiped out. So I thought there and then, okay, this is horrible. I need to go to the bottom of this and really see what this. I need to learn about how I trade this. Okay, I had stop losses, but the thing is, on this exchange, with the stop losses didn't work, all of them. So and it is a disclaimer on the stop loss thing, because if you have a huge liquidation like Bitcoin had that night, all of the other coins were liquidated. They went down pretty fast. I mean, we're talking about 20-30% within some seconds or some minutes. I mean, there was very hard big liquidation, and some stops didn't work. They didn't lose out. They just, it jumped over them. So what, like, it was a shit show on my account, I can tell you. So I woke up that morning and I was not feeling that very well. When you see how much money you have lost, I lost a lot of money. So once again, hey, back at it. The first months I was kind of in a fog. I mean, losing. I will not tell any numbers here, but I mean, we're talking 6-digit euros, 6-digit euros easily. High 6-digit euros. So I mean, it's a lot of money for most of people. And okay, I have only myself to blame, and I was arrogant, and I thought I was brilliant, and I wanted all once again get rich fast, and all this kind of bullshit. And then I realized, okay, I need to really think about what the heck I'm doing. So I started my trading journey, and I was experienced before with not with the trading in that kind of a sense. Now we're talking more day trading, swing trading. So this was 2021. So I'm 4 years in that journey of real swing day trading, and it's hard. It's hard.
The psychology.
I'm profitable most of the times, but I mean, listen, it's I can't recommend trading to anyone, actually.
You get very tired of it.
You can have the best system in the world, whatever you have, but if your psyche is shit, you will lose.
You always
You
have
will
to
get
feel good and
liquidated.
be on top of everything and stay
Always.
there.
You need
the mindset. You need to be concentrated.
exactly.
And
The
fire
mindset is it's so important to be in the right mindset, and that mindset, the mind, you can do the technical analysis and stuff that you will learn. That I had. Today I have a big knowledge. I can do TA on everything, and I see, okay, this is not good, or this is good, or this is a buy, or this is a sell, whatever. But the thing is, when you are really pushing the freaking red or green button, you need to know that you're where you have your stops, where you first and foremost, where are you going out, where are you getting out. You need to have an exit. Everybody talking about the entry, but you need to have an exit somewhere, and where is that exit? And I struggle to this day with those things. I mean, it's a struggle because, especially in the big indices like Nasdaq and I trade Nasdaq and S&P 500 on the side of the crypto. So I trade crypto, but the and SP 500 and Nasdaq as well. And I struggle so hard with the big indexes. But of course, you can struggle with them nowadays, and a lot of people, a lot of trade do because of when it's on all-time high. For me, it's very hard anyway. Trade those big markets on all-time high. You have all-time high, all-time high. You have no reference point. When you have history of, okay, you have support and resistance and all those things in place since decades back or whatever, it's way easier in my system anyway to trade. But if you don't have those on the all-time high, very hard to know. Okay, is it going up 2% more, or is it going down now? Are we finished? I mean, you can trade the swing failure patterns and all those things. Of course, you can, but listen, it's very hard. It's been very hard, very tough times. Yeah, the last year has been
Especially
the
last year
last
has
year has been horrible.
been so
Yeah.
up and down, very
Yeah, participation
unstable.
and the volatility is horrible. I mean, you have the VIX index is under 15. The most of the this last year have been under 20. I mean, under 18. And to trade, I'm a momentum trader, and that makes it even harder because if you don't have any momentum in any direction, and I'm on the 1 minute chart sometimes, 5 minutes sometimes, 15 minutes charts, and you need to have momentum. And if you have those, like some days it's like melting ice cubes. It's going down slowly, or up slowly, slowly. You have no idea if okay, it's going to go down 100 points now or whatever. It's hard. It's hard.
So many things going
Oh
on
yeah,
in the world
yeah,
right now as well.
yeah. On top of it all, to
Comes
the cream
trade
on the
wars,
cream on the top is
the
okay. If
wars.
Donald Trump says anything, it jumps 200 points immediately. So you
Exactly.
have to have that in consideration. Or
Exactly.
another guy in a costume in United States that tells something that is not that good for the market, and the profitable day turns into a freaking shit show. So of course. So that's the thing. So that's why I never recommend to anyone to trade. It's better to invest. But if you do investing, that you need to do, you must do it because you have an inflation. I mean, if you look at food, they have the CPI numbers that came out. And it was better than expected this Tuesday actually. And but this is numbers that the government put out. It is. It's not correct. I mean, look at food. We have 150% inflation just in 2 years. 200%. Some items is up 400%. And food you need. You must have it.
Yeah, that's a necessity.
Yeah,
Everybody needs it.
cell phone or a watch or a car you can live without, but food you need.
Really need that.
You must have it.
The basis when it comes to eggs, fruit,
The necessities.
vegetables.
And also energy. I mean, it was a time just 2 years ago when the energy cost was extreme. I mean, it was absolutely economic, killing people. They were wiped out on the freaking energy bill. And the problem nowadays is also the debt. I mean, so much people are so indebted
The whole
in
Western
this world.
world
Yeah,
is
but
built
the
on,
monetary system is built. It's built on debt.
It's built on.
It's consumption and debt. Get in debt and you consume. But this is how this is the ground pillar of the whole monetary system. And if you know how it works and how actually fraudulent it is, you realize, okay, Bitcoin is fantastic and gold is fantastic and hard asset is fantastic. I mean, you need to realize those things, especially if you are in my age. I'm soon 50. I'm 47 now. I just have a couple of years until I'm 50. But I mean, for a guy in his 30s or 40s, it's very important that you start to learn about invest your cash. I mean, you cannot have them on a bank account because the inflation will eat it up. I mean,
There's
you would
nothing to earn there.
no, nothing to earn. But okay, of course, now when we are on all-time highs, very, very delicate time to buy anything or invest anything because you can be, I mean, we can be in for a 80-90% crash, like 1929 on steroids. If my calculations go as I think it will, it's hard to say, but I mean, it will be some kind of wipeout, and I think it will be within a year. Maximum 2 years. I don't think that long, but maybe within a year. I've said it for 2 years now. Okay, people have been on me, but Daniel, you have talking about this crash for 2-3 years. Yeah, I get it, but the thing is, with us humans, we think we have so especially when it comes to money, we have this time. The timeline is so narrow.
Yes.
We think about days and minutes and weeks and months, but listen, this takes decades.
Yes.
Pan out.
It takes a long time for it to happen. But if you look back at the statistic on it, if you go back and you look at look back to the 80s, 70s, 60s, you can see there's been financial crisis in between,
and those goes in cycles.
Yeah, in
so
cycles.
we are now in what they call the fourth turning. It's a book on it. You can read it. You can buy it and read it. I haven't read it yet, but I'm well aware of what it means, and we are in a crossroad in history right now.
Yes.
With the economic and
with
the politics before. And the monetary system and everything.
And the BRIC countries coming up when it comes to China, India,
exactly.
Brazil,
big things coming up, and it will never be the same after. But those things takes time. Takes time because the people talking about, I've heard the dollar crash for maybe since I started trading back in 2000s. But listen, the dollar won't crash and go away anytime soon. It's still the world reserve currency, and will be for at least a foreseeable future, as long as I live, probably. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody knows. Things could happen. I mean, the fiat system is a rigged, more or less Ponzi scheme. And they are robbing us, or we are robbing ourselves.
Yeah,
there's nobody robbing us. I mean, we're robbing ourselves. I mean, you need to think about when you get in debt. If you really want this flashy car on leasing, or this jewelry on your debit or your credit card with the 35% interest, or whatever you do, or you take out a loan on your fucking house for what, millions. It's stupid. Okay, it's stupid. You don't do it. You pay. I have a rule. If I can't buy something and I can buy the thing over 10 times, I can't afford it.
That's a very good rule, actually.
I have that rule. I didn't have it back in the days. I was one of those guys that thought, okay, I make it up. I didn't borrow. I borrowed to my companies, but I didn't borrow it for consumption ever. So I was, but I was this. I wanted this thing now. And back then you didn't have. But I had it in my companies though, that you can buy now, pay later. I had Klarna very early on.
Klarna, yeah.
I had a company, a bank, financial institution called Vasakredit. I think it was back in 2005, and I changed to Klarna because they were new then. They were absolutely new, and it's new. But the thing to buy was so easy. To put it on in our website, integrated in our website, was fantastic. So
yeah, people use it very much.
The APIs and the programming stuff was so easy. Just a plugin, then good to go. And it was back in 2006, so I was very early on with Klarna. And buy now, pay later. I rarely have clients that came to me and bought it with cash. I can say almost 70% of all my clients used the Klarna or Vasakredit. I had both same time at a time, so they had it on monthly payment, even back then. And I mean, to buy a computer for what, 1,500 euro, 2,000 euros, or pay off with 5 6% interest. Kind of
It's
tough. I mean, the
very.
computer is not worth anything.
It's a lot of money.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of money. So I mean, and when you do it with all those kind of stuff, you do it with everything. That's. I mean, today is, but today, gone so far, and most of the people, I follow the numbers very, very strict in the United States, and I heard something that was it 80% of the, I think it's 80% now of the Americans doesn't have emergency funds of $400. That's crazy, and almost same numbers use the credit card for actually for surviving, to survive,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
buy
to
the items
buy
they
what
really really
yeah.
need. That's crazy.
But
That's
it's a very crazy world now because you can have normal good jobs, but you
Mm.
still need to have another job as well.
Mm.
To
I
make
mean,
ends meet.
In the United States, they had they have had for decades now two jobs. If you are a family of two, they have combined four
It's
jobs.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But that's what inflation does.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. The purchasing power of a dollar has gone down with 96% in 1913 since the Federal Reserve started.
Yeah, and they
And
took
then
it
we
off
had
gold
the Bretton
standard.
the Bretton Woods collapse in 1971 with Nixon taking off the last thing of the gold, not the classical gold standard. It was actually 33, but the last thing we had of some kind of gold standard was 71. So they disconnected the dollar from the gold, and then we have been on a fiat-based system ever since.
They can print how much they want.
Yeah, the thing is that people doesn't realize and that people doesn't understand is that if you they think the Federal Reserve is printing money. Yes, they do, but it's not the money that we use in the so-called M2. The system, the money's creation comes from the commercial banks. They are the ones that create the money in circulation called M2. And you now have an M2 creation of about 4.3%. Yeah, and for the economy to stay afloat, keep going with this Ponzi, you need to have a golden growth rate about 6.3 creation of M2. So we are way below that. We are in a QT session now with the Federal Reserve, and that means that banks are not that they don't want to create, they don't want to lend anymore to people. Okay, you can buy now, pay later stuff, and you have the credit cards and you have all that, but it's come to a point that it's difficult for you young people to get a mortgage
Yeah,
on a
very
house.
hard
It's very
someone to get it.
almost impossible. And the housing price, and that's because of the housing price, because that's in the bubble as well, and that creates another thing, and it's kind of a lock-in on the markets with housing as well, because after the pandemic, a lot of people, they locked in the mortgages of a rate of almost 2%, 3%, some records I heard. Friend, he locked mortgage 30-year of 1.9% or something crazy like that. That's, I mean, if for this guy, and then the prices went up, of course, because everybody wanted to lock in get the mortgage and locked in, buy the house as fast as they could. But now they have golden cups, because now they can sell. Yes, they can sell, but then they need to go to some other place and buy a new home.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
what? For what? 7%. They need to have another mortgage. Of course, they haven't bought the freaking place for cash. Okay, a lot of people do that as well, but most people doesn't. If percentage-wise, it's very few that does it. But they need to buy another place to live, and then they need to lock up a new mortgage with another totally different rate, and the monthly cost will skyrocket for those people that try to. So they are stuck with this overvaluated old house.
Yeah.
Most of the times the valuation of the house is maybe way less than it was. I mean, it's an old house. People think the houses are made of gold. No, it's an old house. if I told you I have my old Volvo from 1986, if you want to buy that for 100,000 euros, would you say to me, "Are you? Have you? Do I need to call a doctor?" No,
No,
the
thank
old
you.
house is an old. No, thank you. Exactly. I mean, it's an old house that you need to take care of, the maintenance and everything. So that's another thing. Don't buy a house.
A lot of work
Rent
having a
the house. Yes, rent it, because it comes with a lot of maintenance, comes with a lot of costs. But when you're young and you want everything, and of course I get it. I was there too. I bought a house myself. I want to raise my family in my own property, not somebody else's property. I get it. I get it. But it's all over again. You need to do the numbers. Do the freaking numbers.
Yeah, do the numbers.
But that's why the monetary system is flawed, because people don't understand why. They think the price of house gone up because it's valued more. No, price and valuation is two different things. It has nothing to do with each other. Valuation is something else. Price, yes, the market price is something else. And then they put the mortgage against the market price. Okay, that's a situation we have on our hands now. And now we have the demographics, and nobody gets a family anymore, and the demographic numbers is plummeting. So we have a demographic in Europe now it's started to look like Japan.
It's very low, and
It's very low.
but it's like in Norway, if you have one child, it was actually on
I think it's
television a
1.2
few
now
days ago.
in
They cannot even afford to have a second
no
child.
no
It's
impossible.
It costs too much.
It costs too much, and you have I mean, to raise a child now, I heard the new numbers from the United States actually this week was 340,000 USD to raise a child.
Damn much.
Nowadays it's a lot of money. And I mean, you need to have probably a good work, you need to have somewhere to live, you need all those things, but people doesn't it's impossible for them. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm the last generation born in the 70s, that the Gen X that was fortunate to buy a house at a fair price, that I could afford, and raise my family in it, and I had it for 10 years, and I renovated and do all this. So I did all those things, and I know what it costs to have a house. It's freaking expensive, man. So nowadays, it's to maintain a mortgage. It's hard.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I mean, and all of a sudden, this AI comes up, and it already have taken away millions of jobs, and you never know what the future holds for those poor youngsters that are in university now. They come out in 3 years with a piece of paper and 100,000 euros in debt for the university, and they can't even get the freaking job at McDonald's, because there they have this automated screens that you can just push the buttons, and they can't even get a job there. What are they going to take?
24,000 jobs that's gonna disappear till 2030, or was it 40? It's a lot of jobs.
It's a lot of jobs. So when you don't have the security of an income, how in the freaking hell are you going to think about raising a family? No, you can't.
Well, you
It's
can.
it's the simple answer of that. You can't. You can't raise a family in this environment. Yeah, you can, but you need to know. But how many people does have they think they have an employment now? Yes, they are employed now. They have the salary now. But in 2-3 years, it could be so different. So different. I mean, take a look on every industry that we have. All the generations and the last 150 plus years, the industry from the industrial time of age into the information technology age, and now we have the AI age, and they think the AI will come, and but we have the AI and we'll make all this profit. But listen, the profit comes from people that buy stuff. An AI won't buy a cigar, it won't buy a car, it won't buy anything of that. Okay, but it will take a lot of jobs and a lot of profit from people that was supposed to buy stuff. And if they can't buy stuff and they don't create families and they don't get children, the society will collapse. I mean, if we are talking about wipeouts, yeah, we are in a slow wipeout right now. Actually, already started 2 decades ago. And we had and all this social media thing has done is even worse for the family matters. I mean, we are in for a lot of problems actually, and I hope in the other end, after all this, it will everything has a turning point. And the good thing with this is that the workforce, when nobody wants to drive a bus anymore, and nobody wants to go to the to work in the industry or doing robotics or program whatever it no programming because I've taken those jobs, but those skill jobs, I mean, a plumber or electrician, nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants to be a fucking influencer. And that's also funny because I will take those jobs as well. So be an influencer. Everybody wants to be that. Nobody wants to be an electrician. But the thing is, the baby boomers, they now go in pension, and they are those blue collar workers. And who will do those jobs? No, but the thing is, there we have the turning point. I think, if you within 10 years are trying to be a plumber or electrician, you can earn big bucks, my friend, because nobody wants to be there
And
now.
you have that knowledge.
If you have that
And the
knowledge, and
experience.
somebody comes to,
Yeah.
okay, you want me to fix your freaking toilet? I do it, but it will cost you
That will cost you-
$10,000
Yeah.
in
that will
an
cost you
invoice
a lot.
within a couple of days.
Yeah.
If that's okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine. So the workforce will actually, blue collar workers will gain a lot from this, but all over again, it will take time.
Yeah, like
You
with
never know.
everything.
You never know how this will pan out. You never know how this will actually develop in any way. It's very hard. I mean, like I said about the crash before, we are in this extreme bubble now for 3 years, bubble phase, whatever you can call it. It's so extreme, but it will go on and on and on. So for a little while more until it doesn't. And then we have something else like 2008. Everybody thought the housing prices it will go up forever.
Yeah, everybody thought.
Like the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Bitcoin will go to 1 million, whatever. And I can tell you this, okay.
But isn't that done mined around 2042, and it's only 4% of the world's population who are into crypto. So I mean,
Yes.
it's better to be involved in it
Yes,
than not
it is.
being
But
involved in
the
it.
thing is, the
But be
crypto.
involved in other stuff.
Yeah, but you need to realize today's crypto bubble and frenzy is created by Wall Street. The
Yeah,
Wall
that's-
Street runs the show,
that's
not
true.
the retail. The retail haven't shown up because they lost all the money in 21. In the last 3 years have been a bear market for most of the crypto, except Bitcoin, because you had these ETFs where Wall Street more or less hijacked this asset, and now it's traded along with the Nasdaq and Dow Jones and
Yeah,
500.
there's
So
the
yeah, the
taken
correlation
into
is
the
the
system.
correlation is
Yeah.
almost 1-to-1. If you, I watching the fucking charts every day
Yeah.
and see it in real time. So I mean, it's 1 to if Nasdaq drops 1%, Bitcoin drops easily 1%, or even more.
in that system. now,
Yes,
so,
it is. It is. It's
it was,
traded
it was
like
not supposed to be.
no.
but
That's
it
what.
is.
That's why I'm so disappointed
Yeah.
of all this.
I think a lot of people are.
Like
who are
in,
into crypto.
I mean, I'm a anarcho-capitalist. I love my freedom. I love to run my own show. I don't like the banks. I don't like the system or the psychopaths in the governments that just make things worse. Control. Yeah, okay, I get it. If we have a little bit of control to get things better, I'm in for it. Why not? But the thing is, control.
It has
It's
not
got
become
out
that
of
much
the
better.
it's getting out of hand always, because if you have somebody that has power, it will be used.
Oh yes, and
Always.
people are very those who have that kind of power. They like to hold on to it and gain more.
They want to gain more, and if they have all the money in the world, they want to gain more power. So that's the thing. It's the power scene, and now we have the power scene between all these big continents. We have Russia, we have China, and we have United States. And China and United States where the
They are
big
used.
scene
Yeah.
is. So, so to say.
Huge countries with
Yes, I mean China
who
is
wanna be on top.
the next. Yeah, the next is is second biggest economy in the world. So and is creating everything we use.
Yeah, everything.
Everything
It's
we
been
use.
doing that for
Yeah,
years.
we're
now.
selling
So,
out the industry to China
Yeah.
for decades.
Yeah, many years.
Yes.
And they China has been building themselves up a
Yeah,
lot in Africa and
yes,
other
yes.
countries they've been invested.
The journey that China have done from the early 70s up until this day is incredible.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's
Everywhere
a lot. I
in
mean,
the
yeah,
world.
I know. It's amazing to see. I mean, that's why things can be cheap because it's created over there. And nowadays, I mean, the almost everything is from China, and the quality is fantastic. Just look at the motorcycles and the cars and stuff like that. I mean, Europe is a museum.
Yeah, they have technology over there.
Yes, they have. They've
Good
sold out
technology.
everything to the Chinese. So, I mean, Europe thinks that it's like. I remember back in the days when Nokia was a big thing.
Yeah.
Everybody
Finland.
wanted to have
Yeah.
the newest Nokia cell phone. It was
They
was
were
the
off.
shit. Was the best. And one day in I think it was in the autumn in 2000. When was iPhone released? 2006, 2007, 2007 I think, because we bought it. Yeah, it's 2006 I think.
Yeah.
2006, just overnight. They got into a situation that was kind of okay. We're done. Just over a couple of
They
just-
understood it.
yeah,
very fast.
just over a couple of weeks, they understood. They tried to maintain their Symbian. I lost the
Their
word. now.
brand.
Yeah, no, the Symbian is the software.
Yeah, the
The
software.
software.
Yeah.
Within the phone, and they tried to maintain it for I think it was 2 years or something. But they and then the touch screen came, and they tried to have the button still on the phones and stuff like that. But they realized after a while that this
That
is
the
not
iPhone
this is not
came.
going to work. I mean, you cannot have those prices on the phones. It's ridiculous, and iPhones just wiped them out.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
2011, I think the company still exists, but it was split up or sold out in parts and pieces, so it was almost went bankrupt. I mean, you see how fast it can go.
It's so fast, and that is a very
It's so
good
fast.
example.
Something
because
new comes.
It was
and
such a huge brand.
yeah. It was the
was.
biggest. They were the biggest.
It's
They were
like-
the big. Nokia was the biggest and the best, and they were so cocky, and they had the world at their fingertips and controlling everything, and all of a sudden, gone
And that was like,
overnight, gone.
Like,
Not overnight,
Steve
but
Jobs
it took a
said,
couple of years. But
one
but
more
more.
thing.
Yeah. So Steve Jobs released the iPhone, and then they had this is it.
You had
Oh.
the iPod in it. You had you could surf on the internet fast.
Yeah, it's the infrastructure.
Call, and you
everything.
could use your fingers.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So it was a big thing when it was released. So I remember it because we ordered the first iPhone. We ordered two of them actually with the aluminum back.
Yeah.
Because my programmer he was so into Apple stuff. Everything he used was Apple, and when we imported two of them from the first day they was released. We were one of the first in Sweden to have them. So
They are really worth
but,
a lot today.
yeah, but I changed actually to Android back in 2012 because I thought I didn't like. I was too all over again the freedom to have an Android. What you can do, I thought Apple was locking you in. You paid a lot of money and locking you into a system where you are. We are now deciding what you're going to have or not have, or you're going to the application you want to buy or whatever. And Android was way more
The more free system.
liberated there. Yeah, that were a freer system, and to this day, I think now Google is the same shit. It's the same thing. I mean, I like Android more. For me, it's worked a little bit better. Change the phones, different models, whatever you have. The Android is for me. It works better for me. the thing of taste. People that have used the iPhones for many years, they still want to be there.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I don't.
stuck
I
there,
don't. Yeah,
actually.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's a good system.
It's very good when you have a Mac, and
Yes.
yeah, everything just talks.
Yeah.
Really work.
Yeah, it does. It does, and way better than Android does.
And I think that's it works brilliant for me and my work. That's why.
That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. So you need to have things that works that you work with. So I'm not within IT anymore. I'm just a simple trader. So fortunately, I don't need to dabble in. I need to. Of course, I have good computers and stuff like that, but I don't need the high fancy.
It's
things.
expensive.
Apple is
Very
It's
expensive.
very expensive. It is. So I mean, that's one thing. That's one reason that I left Apple is because of the prices were so high. Because I had all the phones up. I think it was iPhone 4.
The iPhone 4.
Yeah, iPhone 4.
I had
I
it.
had. That was
A long time.
a long time ago. It's a long time ago. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's interesting, and it's interesting to see where all this leads to the markets and stuff.
If you have someone, what would you recommend someone if they want to get into trading? What kind of mind state do they have?
The
Maybe
mind
do a lot of
it's
research
hard
before,
to say.
but-
I mean, that you need to first and foremost you need to be disciplined, and that's one thing I struggle with. I'm very disciplined in many areas when I'm doing my sports and stuff within golf, or I was doing shooting with handguns for a couple of years on a higher level. There and then I'm very competitive, so I was disciplined, very disciplined. But when it comes to trading, it's so easy to see things. It's so easy to see things that isn't there. And that's the kind of discipline you need to have. That you need to have discipline, you need to have the right psychology, you need to have patience. And now we come into something that is really difficult for people nowadays because they don't have any patience.
Everything is happening fast.
Yeah, I
in this
read
world.
somewhere that the attention span, even in adults up to 60 years old, because of this freaking 3.5 inches
Phone.
phones that we use every day with the social media, have decreased the attention span to only 30 seconds.
Wow. That
30
much?
That's so little.
Yeah,
those
but
heads.
so
Yeah.
little, yeah.
30 seconds. That's the attention span of adults today. They need to be on the phone all the time. They get brainwashed about with the social
People
media.
need to get stimulated fast.
Yeah,
and the dopamine.
The dopamine
yeah.
rushes is always in these phones, and this comes down to the dating apps and everything, and that is horrible, because if you have the attention span of a goldfish,
Yeah, exactly.
then you
cannot concentrate that long then.
trading is not nothing is for you actually, because you cannot learn anything in 30 seconds.
No, you need patience.
You can't even
in practice.
learn to spit right in 30 seconds. No. So how the heck are you going to learn something as difficult as trading that take years and years and years and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours?
Yes, thousands of hours.
Thousands of hours. And people that get into, like I did back in 2000, thought I was a genius. No, I wasn't. I'm still, I'm not. so the thing is, that's the thing. I mean, you need to have patience, and you need to have train your attention. You need to be curious and learn stuff. And I always recommend to learn about monetary history.
Yeah, history.
Start there. The first and foremost I can recommend to everyone listening to this pod, and everyone that want to start with investing and to start to learn about money, is to watch Hidden Secrets of Money of Mike Maloney on YouTube. See all the episodes. I think it's 11 episodes. It's very important to see all of them. Every episode I think is 40 minutes. It's a crash course in monetary system. Mike Maloney he's a fantastic man. Had done so much for the world in the knowledge of how the system works. You can also buy his book, Gold and Silver. Uh, Although there's a lot of books out there, but I mean, if you have problem to sit down and read a book, I get it. It's some time you need to. Who reads books anymore? Is
A lot of audiobooks.
yeah. I mean, it is. Books is good. I read books sometimes. More back in the days, not so much nowadays, unfortunately. But Hidden Secrets of Money with Mike Maloney on YouTube. Watch those episodes, and you will have a crash course in anything you need to learn about the monetary system, and then you will see how it really works. And
Put the
take it
links
from
in the
there.
show notes.
Yeah, take it from there. Take it from there.
Another book that is very interesting and easy to learn it. The Rich Dad Poor Dad of Robert
Yeah.
Kiyosaki.
Incredibly good.
And
That
it
book I have
should
read.
be
It's
actually
great
in
book.
10th grade
Fantastic.
because
Yeah.
it's so much. Unfortunately, it's lacking
Yes.
education
Yeah.
of economics.
Kiyosaki and Mike was working together back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
When
yeah.
they have been working together. So they, both of them are really good. Kiyosaki has his own things with real estate and stuff, but Mike he's actually very informative. He's on YouTube every other week,
Alright.
and follow those guys on YouTube and listen what they have to say, and start there if you want to start your investing journey. I mean, so important that you educate yourself.
Yeah.
That's the most in anything you do in life. Educate yourself.
Yeah, learn,
Educate
read.
yourself. Yeah, read.
Ask
Don't
people who have done
listen.
it.
Don't listen to guys like me or anyone else. Just read and take in information. What Mike have done with those episodes is put together information that spans over 4,000 years of history of what money actually is, what we are doing, and what we are trading with, what keeps
Taking
us
our time.
human beings going. Actually, so it's so important, especially today's chaos world with inflation and stagflation and disinflation, whatever inflation.
For me, I've been asking other people to see what they do and learn from them, just to get an idea how they think. But also, it's a lot of if people share knowledge.
That was not professional.
Okay,
It happens.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
That's true.
yeah, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice when it comes to entrepreneurship,
Wow.
what would that be?
Don't go so fast.
More patience.
Take more patience.
Okay.
Let it take time. Let it settle a little bit, the ideas that you have, and also do the numbers. And if you have something, it's better that you start with, like I did with my furniture thing. I did money straight out of the door,
Yeah.
immediately.
Immediate.
The furniture was sold when they were hitting Swedish crown. It was sold already. Okay,
But
I
that's
made
good.
400% profit on every freaking sofa or table I imported immediately. There you have a business, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have the overhead and stuff because I let and everybody else take care of the transporting and the logistic of the things. So that's the thing. If you have, don't start a hairdressing company and think, oh, the clients will show up, so I buy all the things, the chairs and scissors and everything, and I rent this fancy place and have this nice logotype and everything, and I hope the customers will show up in my little hairdressing shop. Don't be that guy or girl.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
that's very important. Start with, if you have a business, you sell whatever you sell, and you see, okay, this is good money. Maybe is this worth starting a business with or without, or better to have it as a hobby? I don't know. That's the main lesson.
What's next for you in business, life, or trading?
to have
And what
my
is your
to maintain my freedom.
very good answer?
That's the only thing I care about today because listen, you only have one run at this. Life is short. I'm soon to be 50. I've done a lot of things. Uh, I think more things than the most of people in my age. But that's was also calculate. I am that kind of a person, of course. But if you have some, I wouldn't call it dreams, but if you have some realistic things you want to do, do it. Don't wait and do it properly. You do whatever you do. You get into a hobby, you do it right, or you don't do it at all.
All in.
All in. Like it's a,
And will enjoy it.
exactly like Yoda in Star Wars said, "Do or do not. You do or you do not try." I mean, you do it properly or you do not. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, that's that's the main thing. You don't go halfway because halfway never works. I mean, don't get into it in the first place.
What is your dreams? Have any? Wanna?
I I had a lot of dreams. I don't have many dreams anymore. Dreams to have that my family have a good time. That my dream nowadays is more like my daughter. It goes well for my daughter, of course. That's first and foremost. That my girlfriend has everything she needs, and my little dog, and that my family has everything they need. For myself, I have all those. I have had all those cool stuff, and all that I want to have. I've had it. So okay, I haven't had the private jets and yachts and stuff like that. Of course, but I didn't want it anyway. So, but all the things I wanted to do within my hobbies, I have done it and I have had it. So, dreams to be free. Yeah, to be free, and just my freedom is worth everything for me. I love my freedom to wake up in the morning, and if I want to do some, take a walk in the morning, or go to the gym, or play golf, or whatever I do. I play my guitars. I love my guitars. I play metal guitar. I do it.
Yeah.
So
The freedom to do
yeah,
whatever
I
things,
mean,
to use your time the way you
I
want.
use my time as I wish. That's I want to maintain. And is that a dream? No, it's not a dream because I've done it for almost 10 years now. I mean, I stopped working when I was, what, 38? I've been taking care of my own time for over 10 years. I'm 47 now. I'm 48 this year. 10 years in, doing whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. And that's fortunate.
That's very,
I'm very fortunate to do that
well,
and
the
kind
hard
of maintain that.
work has paid
Yeah,
off.
exactly. And I really don't need those big houses and 15 cars. It's not for me. It's not absolutely not for me. I mean, that's no freedom.
You can have fun in a lot all the way.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff
I
is
know
not
you
free.
do.
Stuff to own stuff is not freedom. People think so. Oh, if I buy another car or another house, it's better. No, it isn't. Okay, I get it. If you are a billionaire, you need to put the freaking fiat currency somewhere. But you can buy gold. You
Yeah,
don't need to
exactly.
buy another freaking house that you need to maintain and
A lot of responsibility.
exactly.
Owning a lot of stuff too, though.
Owning a lot of stuff comes to a point when the stuff owns you. When you have so much stuff, you don't own it anymore. The stuff owns you, and a lot
Maintain
of
it.
people. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Um, Fortitude means strength. What kind of state of mind, mental state, quality, techniques have you used to succeed in your company?
Well, the strength comes from the person I am because I was I was diagnosed with autism back in 80 what 3. Uh, I was a special guy, so they I have this stage 1 autism that I have suffered from, uh, and that have given me the strength to do things in a certain I I mean in a certain way. I need to have everything. I'm very calculated when I do things. I'm the absolute opposite of to be impulsive. If I do something, I calculate, I think of it for many, many months, sometimes years, before I do something. When it comes to buying stuff or getting to a hobby, whatever it could be. So that is my strength. And also my kryptonite, because it comes with flaws. I mean, if you have these OCD things, and it comes with the autism spectra umbrella that I'm suffering from. I've learned to live with that. But that have also given me strength. Um, so that's been hard sometimes. I mean, everything changes around you, and when I was younger, I had a hard time to cope with it. If something changed, I have a very hard time with to maintain that change or adapt to that change. Sometimes I realized, okay, if I want to move fast, I need to learn this, and this have been in itself a strength for that kind of reason. So today I'm not say I suffer from it. Sometimes I have my ups and downs, of course, but that's my strength.
I think you have done very well.
Well, thank you. I have a long way to go though.
We all have. And,
Yeah, but the journey is the goal.
exactly. And
So
we're enjoying it.
that's the thing. The journey is the goal, and you need to realize. I mean, enjoy the journey. Have a good life. Have a fun trip. Do whatever, but enjoy.
It's all about the
Yeah,
positive.
enjoy, and I mean, you can enjoy. You're already a winner. It doesn't matter what money you make or whatever you do. I mean, if you're enjoying your life and you have a good time, peace. You're already there.
The present joy, and that's what we
Yeah,
do.
that's one thing I've learned when I'm getting older, to be in the present, because when you're younger, you're always in the future.
Always chasing
Always,
something.
always in
It's
the
gonna
future.
get
What-
so much better when I get
Oh
to
yeah,
that
you
point,
want that
but-
new car, or you want to do that trip, or you want that fancy
Exactly.
watch, or you want that all that piece of garbage or whatever it is. The thing is that you want it because you don't have the money now, but you will have it later because you will work hard and blah blah blah. So you live in a world that doesn't even exist yet. Okay. So that's the thing. So I've learned that when I got older. Getting older, it's a good thing. You get wiser, you get calmer, you get more down to earth. You kind of
Find yourself. more,
yeah, you
calm.
find yourself more. And I must say is fantastic, because I was a chaser back in the I chased all over the fucking place.
You chase. You only have focus on chasing, not what got you there, and
Exactly.
and the journey and everything you learn in the moment while
Mm.
getting there. Not enjoying that part.
No,
which is,
exactly.
Something you can sit back and reflect on. But
Exactly. That's why I love
It's
guitar.
important.
Exactly. That's why I love my guitar so much, and play guitars. It's a new hobby that I got into a couple of years ago. And when you play an instrument, you are in the present,
Yeah,
because
you have
you're sitting and
somewhere
dabbling
else
with your
to-
guitars, and you find new tones. And I'm a beginner. Okay, I'm not that skilled of a guitar player, but I call myself a beginner. I've been doing it a couple of years now, and I can play decent, but to be in the presence, the guitar. I mean, the hours just flying away. Sometimes my girlfriend comes in. Dan, you need to stop. You've been sitting here now for 4 hours. You need to eat. You need to drink. I stop eating. I stop drinking. I stop go to the toilet. I stop everything. I'm the thing that stops me is actually my fingers or my back, because sitting for so many hours and I played so much the recent months. So my my right arm is injured. Actually, I didn't think I could get injured of playing guitar, but I did.
You
I,
can.
I managed. I managed to injure my right
You
arm.
need to calm down.
Yes, I need to calm down. There you have my autistic side. If I do something,
Do it. All in.
yeah, all in, exactly. Do or do not. There is no try. So
That's actually the
that
truth.
is said in Star Wars. Yeah, that's true. So the thing is, you need to. I mean, but you're in the presence, and to be in the presence with with an instrument, whatever instrument it is, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yes,
And
it's a
that is,
beautiful
I mean,
feeling.
it's a beautiful thing. And playing my guitars is absolutely.
You are in
I love
love
it
with
so
music.
much. Yeah, and also my golf. I got back into the game because I was injured in my, of course, injured. I always injured in something, but I was injured in my back 10 years ago. I had herniated disc stuff, but I got into the golf because my back is good nowadays. And that's also a fantastic sport because you're in the game, you're there. So that's great. But guitars is beating that every day of the week because the guitar playing is amazing.
It is something.
What it
amazing.
does with your brain when you hear the music and you hear the tones and you can experiment with the fretboard and the tones you get out and everything you do is and buy all the stuff. I collect, I'm a guitar collector nowadays, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Just buying a new guitar and you search around.
How many do you have now?
I don't know. I have so many guitars now, so I stopped counting them.
Yeah.
So
One more is on the way.
One more is always on the way. I was sitting with on my screen now this very morning actually, and was looking at Kiesel guitars they have. You can customize your own guitar on Kiesel.
That's really cool, though.
That's so cool,
Yeah.
and you can get your exactly build it
The way you
like
want
like a fancy sports car. You can build it. It's fantastic. I love it so much. So, but I promised myself no more guitar this year. It will be next year maybe. If the business and my trading goes as planned, I will customize a guitar for me the next year because I've bought way too many guitars this year. So I will calm down with the buying stuff for a little while now. So yeah.
Yes. You have lived a very interesting life and incredible journey, and I know the journey will continue to be incredible.
I hope so.
I really appreciate that you
Yes.
come here and talk.
Thank you
before
very
it
much.
wouldn't flow.
I enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.